Hello, Humble Nation, and welcome back to Tuesday, Money and Politics. And if you haven't seen this before, it just says I am not a financial advisor or registered broker, and that you have to make your own financial decisions. And I hopefully will be able to give you some ideas, but your decisions are yours. So let's get that out of the way. As I've mentioned many times before, I will be talking about other stocks and going off on other things. But right now, not only is the nature of this channel has been focused for the better part of 2 months now on Humbl, but Humbl, I think, is where it's happening. If you said to me as a reporter, if you're covering investing right now, what would you say is the big story? There would be a number of them. We could talk about the overall economy, but the real one of the big stories would be Humbl. And why? Well, in part because they're doing what other people aren't doing with these ETXs. I mean, this is a revolution. It really is one of the things, just like in my lifetime. I mean, I remember when there were no mobile phones, and it wasn't that long ago. You can look at movies from the 1990s or late 80s where there's someone having a heart attack on the street and someone says, go call an ambulance, and they go looking for a phone. They're running to a restaurant or something. We didn't walk around with phones on us. The internet wasn't around until, for most people, till about 1993 is when it began. And even then, it was just text-based. And look at what we're doing now. So the ETX movement and what Humbl is doing is one of the real big stories. Humbl itself, as well as this whole digitization of currency. That's why I'm focusing on that. I'm not going to continue to do just Humbl, and I haven't. I'm going to, I touched last night on another stock. And in fact, let me just bring that up so I don't have to bounce back to it. We talked yesterday about this oil drilling company, EEENF, as you see, and yesterday it was about close to 9 cents, and I said I'm not endorsing this. And you see the drop off as we look at a 5-day chart. It fell off a cliff. This is exactly why I said yesterday, don't put money into this that you can't afford to lose. And this is exactly why when you're talking about penny stocks, you have to be careful. I have, been so impressed with Humbl, not only with their technology and the rest, but the fact is, you can make a lot of money in penny stocks, so they're worth considering, but you cannot just be going into them blindly. And so when someone said, would you do a story on EEENF, I mentioned it yesterday, and what we saw, in fact, early this morning, for some reason, I was like awake at 5 a.m., and I was hearing like the stock is tanking in the Australian markets, and here we are. It went down 78%. So if you got in yesterday or 8 cents, 7 cents, you're not feeling so good about it. Now, that said, for all of you who like to go out and buy lottery tickets, which I also do not encourage, I actually have a friend in St. Louis, and their next door neighbor won like 50 million, I think it was $70 million in the lottery. So I know sometimes people win, but you're going to be wasting money on that, folks. I mean, let's face it. So I bring that up. If you want to play the lottery, okay, then here's a stock that you can put $100 into. You put $100 into it at this price, you're going to get 5,400 shares in round numbers. If you want to put $50 into it, then you get what, 2,700 in round numbers. And maybe this will go up. And if you had, if you had this go back up to where it was yesterday, or let's just make math simple, if you had 5,400 shares and it went to a dime, you're going to be making, that will then be worth not $100, but $540. So, that's just to follow up on that. Now, the big story for us here in the Humbl land, Humble Nation, the big story is the ETXs. and they just came out, as you know, on Friday. Now, I want to do a quick story. I tried to do an interview just a little bit ago before producing this, and one of our friends in Humbl Nation, a school teacher, he his connection wouldn't come through, but he was pointing out this out, and I think it's worth sharing with others. If we go to Humbl's homepage, this is how you find some of the tutorials on buying ETXs. So you go here, you don't necessarily know where to go. So these are all drop-down boxes, right? So you want to go over to Financial to get information about the ETXs, and you go down to Buy, Sell. So click on that. And there we go. Just took a little bit of time. So what this does is brings up the different boxes, and you can look at these and what they all involve. Now, if I said on this one here, and we go research, you can see there's Bittrex and Coinbase Pro. Now, my friend Matt was saying that Coinbase Pro is a little more user-friendly. Some of these, though, only have Bittrex. So it depends upon which box you're clicking on. Here this says Bittrex, Coinbase Pro, and Binance US. So that's for the global enterprise. And there's some questions about this that we need to have answered. So then you can kind of click on these. And I think well, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. You can play with these, and on your own chart, you can see where what you get here. You can see some of the returns. So this is the basics. Now, again, if you go through the tutorials over here, just above my head, and you click on these, they have, and I'm going to take myself out of here for a minute. They have step 1, step 2, and step 3. Let me play for you. I recorded step 1, and then you'll get an idea of what this is. It lasts just about a minute.
Okay, let's talk about how to subscribe. So go to Humbl Financial and go ahead and log in. You'll find subscribe now buttons everywhere, so we'll click that. And the first thing that you'll see is we need a place to enter in our license key. So all you have to do is follow the prompts. So click link to subscribe, and you'll be led to a place where you can click subscribe. It's only $4.99 a month. Now here's the checkout. So you would just push pay and subscribe, and then you've got your license key all generated. Simply copy that and go back to Humbl Financial, paste it in and submit, and boom, you are in. Now you can start accessing the platform.
So there you go. You can go through how to do it. Hopefully that's helpful. There's a lot of other questions I think we need to get answered from, and part of that is some of these, if you know the difference between a mutual fund and an ETF, I'm sorry. Let's talk about taxes here. If you know the difference, you can have a mutual fund. Let's say you buy XYZ mutual fund and you hold on to it for 10 years. You could still have the mutual fund company say you have to pay a capital gains tax. And you go, why would I pay a capital gains tax? I didn't sell my mutual fund. But the money manager who's running the mutual fund did buy and sell stocks in the course of a year. And on those stocks he sold, where you had a gain, you had to pay a capital gains tax on that. And in some cases, the mutual fund as a whole, the unit price could be down, and yet you still have to pay a capital gains tax on the individual stocks that the money manager sold. And these ETXs, the ETXs, are something like that, in that you could have block 3, block 5, block 10, whatever, and these are going to have been bought and sold on a by a bot. And that's basically what they're doing here, right? They're going to be buying and selling these things, and you're going to have to pay possibly a capital gains tax on these as you go along. And that's one of the questions that I'd like to know from either the company, or maybe if you're an accountant and you're one of my followers, give us your thoughts. Are these going to be taxed as a mutual fund where we're going to pay a capital gains tax on these trades as they go along? Or are they going to be taxed more like an ETF where there is no taxable event until you sell the entire ETF? I suspect these are more like mutual funds, but I would like to get verification. But that said, I wanted to knock out this quick, because sometimes even this information that is available on humblepay.com, if you didn't know it's there, you may not have known. So hopefully this is helpful to you. We'll be doing a number of other videos coming up. But as we said, right now, the whole issue of buying these ETXs, I think, is one of the big stories of my investment career. And as I said to my friend who I was going to talk about, and we'll try to set up some other interviews and get the experience that other investors had as they got onto the blocks and trying to invest in these ETXs. I know some people were very frustrated trying to deal with it. So, I'm not looking for bad stories. I'm just looking for the stories. Maybe it was easy for some and hard for the others, and maybe we can find out how to make it easier for all of us who have yet to do this. So this is, like I said, though, one of the big stories, I think, because it's just revolutionary. And as I said, I may have been an investor for 40 years, but that was a normal, world of buying stocks, adapting to the ETFs as they came along. And now we have ETXs. These have had great returns. We'll have to see how that varies as you get more and more people and more time going along. Sometimes it's easier to get greater returns when you're just starting out for a variety of technical reasons. But that said, folks, I'll let you go. 12 minutes in here already. Time goes by. I tell you, when I record these, they seem like you've been talking for about 3 minutes when you've been talking for, 10 minutes. In any event, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate all the followers. Now we're up over 6,500, and hopefully we keep growing. And I look to cover, the world of investing is, A, as an investor, I love it. And B, as a reporter, this is a great arena in which to tell stories, because so few people in the world of reporting invest. I mean, I just know that from my own experience, and it's just like in general. They're highly educated, and many very good reporters, but they're financially illiterate. And that's one of the things that we want to solve here. You watch my channel. I don't want you to be financially illiterate again. And certainly we can raise your level of financial literacy very quickly. Hopefully I already have. Go back and look at some of the videos, and I'm going to update that. Look at some of the videos on the leveraged ETFs. And until tomorrow, folks, happy Thanksgiving. All right? Thanks for correcting me. We'll see you soon. Give us a thumbs up if you want. Share this with others. Hopefully you found and will find, as you go onto the website, more information and answers. We'll continue to cover this story in the days and weeks ahead. In the meantime, good investing, everyone.